How's everybody doing? It's your boy YouTube Blue coming back at you. And it's a beautiful Saturday. It is homecoming day for my alma mater. And like I told you in the last video, I'll be DJing for the festivities today. And that's going to be awesome. Hopefully, Bowie State wins the football game against their rival Virginia State. But yeah, so as far as our Cowboys go, we play against the Jacksonville Jaguars tomorrow. 4:25 game, Eastern time, that is. This year we are 2-0 in home games, which is ironic how that works out because you look at 2016 when they were 13-3 and they basically won all of their away games, but the games they lost were pretty much at home. I'm just hoping that now that we have more of a contingency of a more hype fan base at home. Because that's important, because having that support is big. Just like when I was in a marching band, when I was in college, the football players used to tell us all the time, hey, you guys playing in the stands, doing your thing, you guys hype us up for the game. So keep doing you, and, you know, we ultimately play better. So, I mean, when you look at the grand scheme of things, it's all about that support system. That's important. Coming into this game, the Cowboys are 2-3, Jaguars are 3-2. It's funny to say this, though. Jaguars have been a less than mediocre team for years. And to come into this game and actually be afraid of them, not afraid, but you know what I mean? Like, the threat of them winning is just like, wow. Because, you know, you look back when we played against them in London in 2014, I think the score was like 31-17. And Dez Bryant had a game on them. 2 touchdowns of like 50 yards or more after catch. It was crazy. But, I guess when you're at the bottom of the barrel and you're picking high in the draft every year, you have no choice but to be better once those once those players get in there. Because if you don't, that means your coaches shouldn't be your coaches. Does that sound similar to your coaches? Yeah. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that right now, but you guys already know that narrative, because that's an ongoing conversation right now. You look at what we have going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars have a very stout defense. Ironically, they only have 11 sacks, though. Cowboys actually have more, with 15. But you look at their all-around talent on defense. They have Calais Campbell. They drafted Taven Bryan. They have Okonkwo. They have Marcel Darius that they got from Kansas City. You look at their secondary, they got our old safety, Barry Church, which, you know, I really loved Barry Church when he was here. You know, he was a solid guy. He got the job done. And in nickel, you can play him as almost like a third linebacker almost in certain situations. So look out for that. They may be doing that with him like how we used to when we used to have Barry Church. They got the boy Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey is one of those guys that talks the talk and walk the walk. He's one of the very few players that talk a lot of trash, but can also back it up as well. Now, he's already mad that the Cowboys didn't draft him. You know, for whatever reason, he's mad about that. He still feels some type of way. So, you know, it's almost like vengeance for him playing against us. So he's excited about the game. I'll go to the keys of victory with that. I'll, you know, tally around that again. But like I said, they're one of the few teams in this league right now that has talent throughout their defense. I'm talking about from their defensive line to their linebackers to their secondary. Their linebackers, they have very athletic linebackers. Their linebackers are side-to-sideline guys. But again, your best bet with those is basically chipping those linebackers with the offensive linemen. So if you can get your offensive linemen to that secondary, past those defensive linemen, and those linebackers are not going to be able to do their job because they're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the offensive linemen, even what we have right now. Just a couple of stats. So lead rankings, as I do in every matchup video. Cowboys, again, are ranked 25th in offense, which is absolutely dismal. The Jaguars are 10th in offense. Cowboys are 9th in defense, so we dropped from 4th to 9th. That's because we didn't have as many sacks last week. But, you know, this thing varies from week to week. Now, it's funny because the Jaguars are rated 3rd in defense right now, but they're actually 1st. And when you look at overall defense, when you look at the whole grand scheme of things, they're actually number 1. Nobody's defense is actually better than when it comes to that. The Cowboys are 29th in rushing. No, I'm sorry. 29th in passing. I'm sorry. Sorry, Zeke. Didn't mean to disrespect you like that. The Cowboys are 29th in passing, which we already know that. And Blake Bortles in the gang is 13th. Now, I'm going to get into Blake Bortles in a minute because there's ways to... his stats are really skewed. It's almost like his stats are better than what he actually is or what he's actually done, which is kind of weird to say. But in rushing, we are actually 4th, and they are 14th. Now, they just lost Leonard Fournette to an injury. So right now, their lead guy is T.J. Yeldon. They went and got Jamal Charles out of free agency, and he's only been on the team for a couple of, 3 or 4 days. So he's probably not going to do much this game. They're probably going to put him out there because they're going to need him because they only have a couple of running backs left. And I think that they brought a guy up from their practice squad as well. So that's what they're doing. That's what they're going with running back. But our defense should be able to just keep their running backs at bay at that point. But again, I'm going to go into that in a second. I mentioned home games were 2-0 this year. When you look at trends, we should win this game. You look at on paper, we ain't got no business winning this game on paper. But again, it's any given Sunday. And statistically, Jason Garrett, and since he's been coach, the Cowboys have very few times that they fell below 500. 2 games below 500, I should say. You look at that and you're like, okay, again, it's just stats. Anything can happen, It could be the first time that could change, or it can be another week where that actually made sense. So you look at it as we lose this, we'll be 2 games under 500. You don't want to be in that situation. You want to go ahead and get back to 500 after this game. Keep pace with the Eagles for that NFC championship at the end of the season because you need that. NFC East champion, you know what I mean. But as far as the Cowboys just outright winning, it's a lot of different variables that has to take place for that to happen because they have to do some things that they haven't done. This conservative play calling cannot happen this week. They have to get out there. Dak has to throw the ball because their whole game plan is they're going to stop the run because, again, there's no secret that the Cowboys, their whole identity is running the ball first. And you're going to have to come out here like the Giants game, and you're going to have to do some things that you haven't done. You're going to have to back this defense up because they're so good on their defense with how solid they are with the linebackers, the front guys, and the back end that they literally they don't only have to rush forward. They don't have to put 8-9 men in the box. They can rush with their 4 and still get pressure. Now, this is where our offensive line comes into play. Now, but again, before I get into that, let me talk about basically stats up until this date. So Dak Prescott has 961 yards of 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Again, 900 yards passing in 5 games is just... You look at other quarterbacks in this league having double, triple that right now. But again, their interception rate is probably higher too because they're taking more chances. But in this league nowadays, forget about interceptions. Like, you got to throw the ball. You can't think about that because as long as you win in games, those interceptions don't really matter. You look at back in the day, there's guys that, Brett Favre, he had many interceptions, but he also had many touchdowns and many successful games. But, you know, it goes with the whole genre of you can't make an omelet without breaking the egg. So that's pretty much the concept that I'm saying. Like, Dak can't be afraid to throw an interception here and there, but you got to take a chance. Now, what's crazy is you look at his 4 interceptions and you're like, none of those interceptions were off of a pass that was errant. All of those passes literally went to a guy, and it just popped up in the air. It's almost like we used to complain about, what was it, Madden 17, I think it was. It was either Madden 16 or Madden 17. Those of you guys that play video games, back me up on this one. I think it was Madden 17 where, like, you'll catch the ball and something will happen and the ball will pop up and the defense will intercept it. That happened in Madden a lot, and I used to hate that. I stopped playing it because of that. You look at these 4 interceptions, it's almost like almost every interception, except for the Earl Thomas one. That was weird too. But all of them popped up in some way where the defense was like, oh, give it to me, and gone. Other way. So that's just, that can't happen. Like, our receivers got to do a better job of coming back to the ball. And if you can't get the ball, bat it down yourself. Play a little bit of defense. I mean, figure it out. Fight another round. Fight another down. Blake Bortles has 1,525 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. Now, what I was saying about Blake Bortles is that he's gonna give you a couple. He's like Eli in my opinion. He gonna make some mistakes when he get flustered in that pocket. He's gonna throw some interceptions. That last game they lost, that was on him because his defense has been doing great. The Jaguars defense does the damn thing, but Blake Bortles is the thing that holds them back. So he has to get all the criticism for that. But if you keep him at bay and sack him and frustrate him, he gonna throw you some errant passes, and that's what we're looking forward to. Ezekiel Elliott has 93 attempts, 480 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. TJ Yeldon has 59 attempts, 258 yards, and 1 touchdown. Yeldon hasn't played as much because Leonard Fournette was there before he got injured. So you look at that, and then, you know, they got Jamal Charles. So we should be able to solidify their we should be able to contain their running backs, because the way that our defense plays, even with the injuries that we do have with D-Law and his, you know, if you guys haven't heard, he's apparently been dealing with a tear in his labrum in the shoulder for about 2 years. I don't know why he didn't get surgery on it in the offseason just so he can get that out the way and be ready for the season, but maybe he has his reasons. David Irving is back from his custody battle with the I hate saying baby mama, with the mother of his child. That custody battle, I mean, he's been dealing with that, but it's good that the coaching staff been, you know, backing him up and supporting him through that, because I don't have any kids, but I can imagine how rough that is, you know, going through a custody battle, because again, your kids are important. They're the love of your life. They're, you know, you're raising them and you're trying to make them, you know, even better than you are, you know. But, you know, but I just hope that he, you know, gets that taken care of so, you know, he can get back to football and get right. But he's supposed to be playing tomorrow, and that's going to be good, because if Malik Collins holds up and he ends up playing, we'll see the final inactive list probably closer to the game tomorrow. But if Malik Collins plays, they're going to have both him and Irving on that inside wreaking havoc. I mean, I don't even see. This is the reason why I have so much patience with David Irving, because when he goes out there and he plays, he's a monster. I mean, that 6'8" frame with them long arms, I mean, he's just able to just maul guys. And, you know, when you got a guy like that with a guy like D-Law, I mean, there's nothing that you can do about it. It's just, you're just getting rushed at from all different angles. And their offensive line is weak right now. We know one of them very well with Jermey Parnell. He used to be right tackle for us. You know, even D-Law said himself, he said, I can't wait to go up against him, because he was there in D-Law's rookie year. And, you know, just going up against him. One thing about Jermey Parnell, sometimes he plays like he has his feet in the mud. And he doesn't do well with speed rushers. So if you could get off that ball and get the first step on Jermey Parnell, you're going to get through him. He's going to be like a revolving door. But I'm gonna talk more about their offensive line in a second. I just get so into what I'm saying, y'all, because it's just I'm passionate about the team. I just love what we could do. Granted, it's hard right now because we're so inconsistent, and it's like we win one week, we lose another week, and it's just everything looks like an 8-8 season. But I'm hoping that we could just turn things around right now. Our receivers are big in this game. They're going to have to step up. Cole Beasley only has 17 receptions for 193 yards and no touchdowns. Swaim has a touchdown, but he has 159 yards. Their wide receivers, D.D. Westbrook has 24 receptions, 349 yards, and 1 touchdown. And Keelan Cole has 21 receptions, 295 yards, and a touchdown. So their wide receivers aren't world beaters either. So again, containing Blake Bortles is the biggest key to this game, is all I'm saying. That is your chance for victory. Again, as I'm talking about the keys to victory, stop the Jags running game. TJ Yeldon, Jamal Charles, those are their 2 guys that they're running out there. Make Bortles throw the ball, because again, like I said, he has 7 interceptions right now in 5 games. Fluster him, make him throw that ball, make him give you the ball back. Force fumbles. Every chance that you can get to get that ball out, make that opportunity happen. Jalen Smith and the rest of our linebackers are doing well. I think Sean Lee might be out one more game. But it's cool because Leighton Vander Esch is out here playing like he's a veteran already. I mean, he has a lot of tackles under his resume already. And I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him. I just hope that he's can keep it up. Attack their offensive line. So they're running a guy out there. This is first career game, Josh Walker. Guard Josh Walker. Get him flustered. Frustrate him on his first game and get to Blake Bortles. I mentioned Jermey Parnell on that outside. Now, they also signed Eric Flowers, which, you guys, if that name sounds familiar, he's the former guard for the New York Giants that was a bust there. So, even if he's playing or if they put him in the game, I don't see him stopping our defensive lineman either. But, number 3, fight off Calais Campbell, Marcel Darius, Eli Okonkwo, and Taven Bryan. Taven Bryan is one of the guys that I said that I had, when we were doing the mock draft, I had him on the Cowboys board in the first round as well, but I think he ended up going into the second. I think he ended up being their second round draft pick, but first and second round, like he was a high first, low to middle second round draft pick. That's where he pretty much went where he was mocked to go. But you look at what they have on their defensive line. Their defensive line is very good. It's almost like the Cowboys and Jags defense is almost like the front side of their defense is like a mirror image of each other, because we both have heavy hitting guys that can get to the quarterback and frustrate and mess up your Sunday. Calais Campbell, Mark ain't the only one that wanted him on the team. When he was available, I wanted Calais Campbell to be on the Dallas Cowboys too. But I mean, just imagine if we had Calais out there too. Oh my goodness, like we'd be unstoppable. But Calais is their number 1 guy, and he's been out there doing a damn thing at 32 years old, mind you. He's a year younger than me. So number 4, move the chains. Move the chains. No more of this 3rd down and 8, 3rd down and 12, 3rd down and 16, 3rd down and 24. We need to be in 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5. No more than that. We gotta complete these 3rd down attempts and get moving, because you got to keep pace with this team. Now, if our defense that does their thing with Blake Bortles, their offense is not going to score that much. But if their defense has success on our offense and they could get turnovers on us, their defense will score some points. You know, they got Miles Jack back there. They got guys out there that can do some things on defense, and they almost have an all-star squad. Their defense is almost like the Golden State Warriors. They got great guys at every position. Like, it's almost like they're at Ruth Chris or something. They got steaks on every plate. And that's hard to do. But they're not going to maintain that, because once these young guys' contracts come up, they're going to lose a lot of them. Just same thing happened with the Seattle Seahawks, because we're in a salary cap era. You can't sustain that for more than 2 or 3 years, because people's contracts is up and you ain't got enough money to pay for it. That's just pretty much what it is. You should never have to say this. Get your wide receivers involved. That I don't think anybody has ever said that for a football team. Get your wide receivers involved, because that's who you throw the ball to. But again, we have to get excuse me. So we have to get these wide receivers the ball. Everybody has to step up. Allen Hurns has to do his thing. Cole Beasley has to get open. I think what's going to be big in this game is play action. Dak is great in that play action. Again, use him to his strengths. Get him in play action. Run some screens. Spread that offense out. Let Zeke run the ball, not just up the middle, but another thing is big too is misdirection, because their defense plays very aggressive. And how you play against a aggressive defense is by misdirection. You know, fooling the defense and thinking that you're going one way and just stretch everybody the other way, and you got wide open field. Them yards after catch is going to be important. You have to get your fast guys involved. I don't know how many times I have to stress this. Tavon they have to get him running. They have to get him in motion. Same thing with Ezekiel Elliott. You know that Ezekiel Elliott is dealing with bursitis right now. So he's not 100%. So because of that reason, all that running up the gut, when you see that they got all these damn players stacked in the box, you can't do that, because it's like you're running him into a wall. Get Zeke in some open space and let him eat. That's what you do, because their whole thing is they're going to try to stop this run, and they will be and they're capable of being successful at doing that. But they cannot make us one-dimensional, because if they make us one-dimensional with our conventional conservative play calling, we're not gonna win. We're probably not gonna score a touchdown if that's the case. I mean, it'll be a Maher game. He'd be kicking field goals all day. We cannot do that. We have to get ahead of the chains. We have to play aggressive, just like we do. We have to do that every game, because again, everybody is against us right now in the media. Everybody's saying the Dallas Cowboys is not capable of this, not capable of that. You got analysts, you got ex-players calling us trash. So again, you have to do what you do, block out that, and play your game. Linehan, player execution, they have to play better. And I will say that. These players have to play better. They have to execute the plays that are run. And Linehan has to do a better job of getting these guys in different situations. Allow Dak to throw the ball downfield. Even if the receiver don't catch the ball. Because of the way that their DBs play, they're very aggressive. You might can get some pass interference penalty calls for you. So that'll be big. So again, we got to take those chances. Red zone conversions. I don't want to see us getting into the red zone and then making Maher kick the ball. Get that ball in there. Do some things like we did in 2016 with Dak. Fake the Zeke. Let Dak run the ball in itself. Do some of those things, because again, you got a mobile quarterback. Utilize the strength that you have with him right now. And my dog apparently sees something. Oh, there she go. But yeah, so the winner of this game to me comes down to whoever protects the ball better. If Blake Bortles somehow has a monster game and he doesn't turn the ball over, then the Jacksonville Jaguars would win. On top of their defense doing their thing. If the Cowboys can keep Blake Bortles at bay and they can frustrate him and they can get sacks on him and they can play prevent and Dak Prescott holds onto the ball and he doesn't turn the ball over and he gets limited sacks on him, then the Cowboys, I think, can pull this out. I want to say a score of 2016, maybe, Cowboys. I wasn't going to say the Cowboys win this game just because it's going to be an uphill battle. But again, it's any given Sunday, and I've just been having an itch in my soul this week about, I've been going back and forth this whole week just in my mind about this game. And, you know, whenever the chips are down for the Dallas Cowboys, they always seem to make a way to win some kind of way. And, you know, you could count them out for a little bit, but you can't count them out forever. So that's just all I'm going to say about that. But that's all I got for you guys today. I got to go perform tonight. So with that being said, y'all like, share, comment. It's your boy E2 Blue, always keeping it real. Y'all have a great Saturday.